Hey, moms and dads, boys and girls, listen. It is about 33 degrees on my thermometer. It's a little chilly, but that doesn't keep me down when it's spring is on the way and I am anxious to do some stuff out of my yard. I thought until it gets really warm, I can't do a lot of planting in the ground, but I thought there might be a few fun things that we could try that you can do on the indoors. I'm just going to come outside today because I've been itching to get out. So I brought some things onto my patio, and you can join me right out here for just a few minutes. I thought, oh, that's a little low. I am not a techie, so just bear with me. Let's see if that's any better. Hey, that kind of works. Hey, like I said, I've been itching to do some things spring related and getting things growing again. So I cannot wait until the ground's a little warmer and I can plant some sunflower seeds. This year I've got three kind. I've got some the big gray stripes, and these are going to grow to be about 2 times as tall as I am, which is pretty tall, about 10-12 foot tall. And then I found these really beautiful sunflower called Velvet Queen, and they're going to get about as tall as I am, so about 5-6 foot tall. And then lastly, I found some of these. These are called teddy bears, and they're going to be the short ones in the front. These teddy bears are going to be about as tall as you guys. They're going to grow to be about 2 to 3 foot tall. So I cannot wait for that. But while we are actually waiting, I've got a few things we'll do inside, and I thought one of my favorite things to do in the spring is to sprout something. So if I was at preschool, I would be doing some sprouting of lima beans. Lima beans are great, and I bought some. Usually I don't have lots of lima beans laying around my house because, believe it or not, Mr. Drake does not eat a lot of lima beans. But I do often have mixed beans for bean soups and things. So you can use a lot of different beans. Lima beans are nice just because they're big. So just like in Texas, everything grows big. On lima bean, everything's a little bigger, a little easier for little eyes to see. So I would start with lima beans. The thing that we're going to watch to see over the next few days is how a lima bean grows. And God's plan, I'll tell you right now, spoiler alert, there is a plan inside each one of us, and inside each one of these lima beans, the root's going to come out first. And then the little stem, the sprout, is going to come out. Do you know which way the root grows? Does the root grow up, or does the root grow down? If you said down, then you are right. The root's going to grow down. Now the sprout, the little stemmy part, is going to grow up or sideways. Probably a little bit of both. But mostly it's going to grow up before it starts doing anything else. So let's talk about how to sprout some lima beans in your house so you can watch them do their thing. The wind just blew the Ziploc bag I brought out. So all you need is a Ziploc bag. I've got a gallon one here. You can use the sandwich size, quart size, whatever you have. Good heavens, you don't have to go out to the grocery store and get something else now. And then some paper towels. Paper towels are a prized possession now, so use them sparingly. I've got about this, and they about just fit across the bottom of my Ziploc bag. Now I could just do it like this and leave it plain. There's no problem with that, but I borrowed my granddaughter Emerson's crayons from upstairs. When she comes over, she loves to color. She colors all kinds of things, and we'll color things together too. I'm gonna make my paper towel look just a little bit like some brown dirt in the ground. It's just pretend, but why just do it plain when you can make it special, right? So here's my pretend dirt. And just for fun, I'm going to take a black permanent marker, and I'm going to draw just a little worm, because all the good soil has worms in it. And if you haven't seen any out in your yard, you will soon when the rains get stronger and the temperatures get a little bit warmer. So there's my pretend dirt with some worms. I'll put it right in here. I'm going to push it right down to the bottom of my bag like that. And then I'm going to take my lima beans. You wouldn't think it would be that hard. There you go. So I got my cloth in there, my pretend dirt. I'm going to put my lima beans. You can put as many as you want. 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever you got. Just kind of scatter them around on the top. They'll probably sink to the bottom when I hold it up, but to help hold them into place, you're going to take some water. And I brought my water from the ironing board area. Not that we iron. Who irons a lot anymore? Let's be real. But I brought my water, just plain water. You can get it out of the tap too. I like it because it sprays so nice. And you're going to put about 10 or 12 sprays in there. Your idea is to soak the paper towel. So it's going to hold all your water. And once you get that done, just kind of press your beans down and get a lot of the air out that you can, as much as you can. And when you're done, you're going to zip lock it back at the top, and that will make sure all the moisture, all that water stays inside. And it's going to look something like that. You can kind of see my beans. They didn't fall to the bottom like I thought they would. I guess that wet towel. Now, if you don't peek a lot, and don't peek a lot by opening the bag, leave it closed, but we're going to take this inside. When I'm done, I'm going to put a piece of Scotch tape on it, and I'm going to put it inside my house. I'm going to take it to a sunny window, and the south window or a window on the west work really well. Just tape it on there so you can watch your beans and you can watch your worms and see if the root comes out and if the little sprout or the stem part comes out too. So that's one thing you can do while you're waiting for spring to come. Another thing you can do, and if you're like me, I don't go through carrots very quickly at my house. Sometimes we buy those little bags of little finger carrots that are already washed and trimmed and have all the peel off of it. Sometimes we buy raw ones though. My wife really likes those. And these have been in the refrigerator though for a little time. You can see the little white roots. They're trying to come out again, and they will try to sprout if you don't eat them. Kind of looks like a leg and a knee there to me. What we're going to do is we're going to take our knife, and in the ground, when it was growing like this. This was the root, and the root was going down, and the stem was coming out of the top. Well, you can tell it's got a little bit where the leaves used to be attached. I'm going to cut about 1 inch of that off. Ow! And then I'm going to see if I can get stems to grow out of the top of this again. So all you need is just a little, any kind of a tray or a lid, something. We've got a ramekin we don't use very often. I'm going to put this one, and I cut off the tops of 3 or 4 other ones. This one has already started sprouting. Who knows how long those have been in our refrigerator, maybe longer than I thought. I'm going to add a little water, and you always just want to make sure you just keep a little water in there, and then just stick them in a sunny place, in a window or on a table or a little counter. And we're going to watch those over the next few weeks, and I'll see if those will sprout and start growing some stems out of the top of that. And then another thing that I do like to do, especially in the classroom, but I also enjoy doing it at home. And if you haven't done it lately, I bet Mom and Dad might have done it when they were growing up, and that is just sprouting a sweet potato. Now, if you've ever tried to grow potatoes, you can go grow regular potatoes in the ground, and these are some of those new little, they call them new potatoes, little red ones. And if you want to grow these regular potatoes, just dig up dirt, throw them in there, and they'll start growing. And I've got another little video I'll post here on the ECC website. You can go to see what I did just about a year ago. I grew some in a fun way, and you might want to try it this summer too when the weather gets a little warmer. But today, let's talk about sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes come in a few different sizes. If you go to Kroger, you can get one. I've got this one here, and it is the one I'm going to use. All you need is a sweet potato, you need a jar, you need a little water, and you need some toothpicks. I've got some toothpicks in there. Now, I think I think I need to use this big jar. Yeah, you just want your sweet potato to fit down in the jar. So I'll use the big jar. And if you look at a sweet potato, most sweet potatoes are gonna look a little bit like us. They might look a little pointy on the head end. They may look a little heavy on the bottom end. So if you want to think about it that way, you can think about it that way. The bottom is the part you want to put down in the water. And if you get mixed up and do it this way, it's not going to ruin everything, but it's just going to grow better. So if you think of the fat bottom goes down. What we're going to do with our toothpicks is just take and stick them about in the middle. My fingers are getting cold out here. There we go. And you want, 3 or 4. I'll just put 3 in this guy here. Just enough to make him stand up on the rim of your jar. And he will be just like that. I'm going to take some water. Better get out of there for a minute. And I'm going to fill this up. Fat, remember, fat bottom down, right? Fat bottom down. Oh, that was too much water. I'm glad we're outside. My wife won't yell at me for making a mess. And I don't have to clean it up. There we go. So you get about a half to a third of it in the water, and then you watch it. It'll take about 2 weeks, and after a couple weeks you'll start to see the roots growing, and then shortly thereafter you should start seeing the little vines or the plant part come up. Those are called slips. And if you want to grow sweet potatoes, it's a little different than growing regular potatoes, because like I said, you could dig a hole in the ground, drop these in, or cut them in half even, drop them in, and they will grow and make more potatoes. But a sweet potato, it doesn't work quite the same way. What will happen is the little vines will grow up here, and each of those vines is called a slip, and you would grow new sweet potato plants from a slip. So once they get yay big, all you'll want to do is just gently break it off, and then you can put it in a little cup of water, and then that little slip or that little vine will start growing roots of its own after a few days, and that's the part you're going to plant if you want to go further. I am just going to keep mine like this because it's going to vine and it's going to look like somebody's wild hair. Maybe my hair in the morning when I have major bedhead. So that's another thing that we can do is to start a sweet potato and get that going. And you will notice that the roots will grow down on all plants. Basically, the roots are going to grow down. And those are a very important part of the plant, because the plant roots are a lot like the straw in my chocolate milk this morning. Those roots, when they start growing down, they're going to suck this water, and they're going to suck the vitamins or the nutrients out of the soil. Just like a straw works for me, the roots work for the potato. And that's how I get a lot of good nutrition, at least from chocolate milk. So I hope you enjoyed our time today, and I'm going to invite you to come back each day. Each morning at about 10 o'clock we'll post a new little video, and we're just trying to keep the learning fun and keep it going. Today is science. I think tomorrow, I think it's PE with Miss Robin. So look forward to that. Hey, and if you will look, and a little later after this one posts, sometime today I'll put up another little short video, and it'll tell you about that fun little activity I did about a summer ago with these little potatoes.